I notice a lot of filler words I used to deal with it, so I notice more. It might not work for you? Uh-huh. So no more filler words. Got it. You're speaking from your nose. Bro, that is so disrespectful. You're speaking from your nose.
Yeah.
You're too monotonous. Put some pep in your voice. Got it. Feel more excited when a place happens. Got it. Your camera is hiding 3 of the Fnatic player's summoner spells, which was already mentioned. Got it. Actually, don't got it. I completely forgot it again, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about my camera. I'm so sorry. I'm just fucking stupid, man. That's all it is. Yeah. Welcome back, everyone. And today I'm going to be doing my second cast. And first of all, before we hit the draft, I want to thank you all for all the feedback that you gave me. And I hope that you're gonna like this cast. So let's go into it. Now we see the Zerub taken out already, considering how well Koi played with it in the first game. I do think they don't want to give it to Neon, and they don't want to give it to Vitality. Even though I think Soraka Zeri getting the bot turret at 8 minutes seems kind of extreme, and that probably shouldn't happen most times. We also see the Karma taken out, a very powerful flex, can be played mid, can be played bot, and can be played top even though I don't like it that much. And of course, the Sejuani been one of the most popular first picks in the LEC, and one of the most strongest champions, considering its kit and considering how the engage tools it has. It's not something you want to face. And here we see the Caitlyn Lucian once again being banned by Vitality. They do not want to face comps of Caitlyn or Lucian, one of his most played this season. And also last year, it was one of the reasons they were even able to win the LEC. They were the best bot lane by far. So I'm not surprised to see those 2 bans taken out. And first pick Ashe comes out. We have to assume that it's going to be support and Trimby is going to operate it. Wait. Bro, what? Bro, what is that big dick energy? He has... Bro, nah, I'm done with this cast, dude. Like, what the... Bro, did he just blind Nidalee? Bro, these guys are way too alpha. Like, Bo, honestly, I love this guy. This guy makes League exciting. He makes it exciting again, dude. Like, what the hell is that? Have you ever seen a jungler just blind Nidalee? It's like a 5-pick normally. Sorry, I'm not gonna get carried away. The response is going to be Sivir, which is very good into Nautilus. You can block the hook, you can make sure that Ashe doesn't have to stand in front of you, and the Sivir can take care of the lane and they can focus on just pushing. Now we're gonna see what AD carry Neon is going to opt into. Now that Sivir is taken away, I mean, we do have a couple of options. I think Varus is one of the strongest one. Probably gonna be a Varus 3rd pick, but Larsen also need to pick his champion. I would assume that we're gonna just respond with a jungler, but Larsen really wants to... He really wants to secure his Azir. It is one of his most played champions and probably one of his best, so it does make sense for him to pick it away instead of actually jungle. I'm surprised to see what is Malorang actually going to respond this Nidalee with. And here we see also a 3rd pick Xayah. That is going to be the response for Neon. Xayah, Nautilus, they're going to have to play quite aggressive if they want to get any advantage. But considering that they already picked the Nidalee, that is probably their plan. That's what they want to do. They want to ensure that Bo can look for invades, he can look to engage. And now we head into the second part of the draft, and we're gonna take out the Gnar, Zygenda's most played. This guy's even making comments on like LEC mic check, being like booga booga. So it makes sense for them to take it out. It's one of his most played, even last year, in his competitive history. So take that out, take the comfort out, and Perks played a really good Jace game, even though they didn't win last game. They're gonna take it out, they don't wanna face any more Jace, and Jace paired up with Nidalee is going to be a very good combo and a lot of poke, so it does make sense for them to take it out. Now Zygenda's 2nd most played is Renekton, one of his other comfort. Now he did play Cassandra last game, but it wasn't really that impactful. I mean, we didn't see much of that Cassandra. I mean, he did a really good job in teamfights, but they're not scared of that Cassandra. And Photon has a lot of picks into it. We have the Gwen, we has the Jax, he has the... What else can you even pick into Cassandra? Honestly, I don't know, because Cassandra is a new champion, and I don't know what the hell... That new champions suck, alright? That's all I want to say. Bro, this would be... Like, honestly, I love Vitality's draft. Picking Yone into Azir, I mean, it is a losing matchup, but this just shows you want to go all out and you want to fight. Like, you're not scared of Koi. You lost the first game, and now you're going all in. You're like, you guys want a fist fight? We're going to fist fight you. Alright, bring it, bro. Now Malorang is going to respond with the Xin Chao. relatively good matchup. You can get onto the Nidalee, but if Nidalee does get ahead, it's not really that good for Xin Zhao. I'm hoping to see some early invades by Bo, and knowing Bo, he's probably going to look for early invades. But you have to assume... Now we see the K'Sante picked up again for Zuganda, a great pick by them. Having a second front line alongside with the Xin Zhao, considering how squishy their bot lane is, you do need a little bit more front line. So Koi is going to look to play a little bit more front to back and focus on front line, and just having the Xin Zhao and the K'Sante in the front. Now the response is going to be Olaf into K'Sante, a very good matchup. Olaf does win that one, and I gotta say, I love Vitality's draft. This is some big dick energy. Like, I don't think you guys understand how big dick energy this is. Like, I haven't seen this kind of draft, maybe over in the LPL, but this is like, Bo, he's like, listen, we are going back to LPL draft. We're gonna play extremely aggressive. Excuse my language for saying the word D so many times. I will try to refrain from it while we go into the cast and be a little bit more professional. So please excuse me for that. So as I said, Koi is going to look to play a little bit more front to back. Well, Vitality are the ones who have to engage. They have to make the advantage. They have Yone, they have Nidalee, they have Olaf. There's a lot of short-range champions in this comp. They even have Xayah, and they have Nautilus. So this has to be one of the most exciting drafts, and I'm really glad I chose this game to cast, because the last game was kind of stale, and the meta has been kind of stale. I don't think many people appreciate how stale the meta is. We see the repetitive picks all the time. It's very slow. It's Sejuani, Maokai. You get my point. It's not that fun, right? Now, I would have loved to see Nidalee into Vi or something, but Nidalee blind instantly just shows how confident of a player Bo is, and I'm super excited to see what he can do. I'm just hoping it's not going to be in those other competitive games. I'm hoping to see that Bo has the Canyon kind of level of Nidalee. I have seen his Nidalee a little bit in Champions Queue, and he does look great on it. It is one of his comforts, so I'm sure it's going to go great. But I would favor, obviously, Koi's draft. It's a lot more stable. You have a solid team comp. You have a solid win condition. Even if you fall behind, you have different multiple options of who's going to carry. You have the Sivir late game, wave clearing if you fall behind. You have the Azir clearing, and he's going to scale really well. And then you also have two frontliners. You have the Xin Zhao and K'Sante. And then you have Trimby on Ashe, who had an amazing game last time he played it, hitting every single arrow on Perks. So we have to see if Perks is a little bit traumatized, and he's going to pay a little bit more attention to those Ashe arrows. Now, Vitality's draft is a little bit hard. I think they will have the push on top side. The bot lane, I'm not too experienced about this bot lane matchup. I do think that, obviously, since Koi has double range, they should be able to get the push, but it's not that simple. If Nautilus is able to look for a hook or find an engage, it might not be that simple, but we have to assume that Koi bot lane will also have the bot push, and Azir will be getting the push versus Azir, unless Perks decides to play quite aggressive in the first two levels. Now, he could get the push, but we'll see how he decides to play this game. Because if he does want to get the push, we should assume that it's going to be some sort of invade in the early game and try to make something with this Nidalee. We'll see if Bo opts into just a simple full clear or if he's looking to be active. You can already see the early wards by Koi. They're looking to get wards down on the bot side. See if Bo is going to do some early shenanigans. And we can already see an early fight. Kaiser flashes in! It goes on Comp. The Comp has to flash away here. He's going to have to flash over the wall, but Kaiser has to flash away as well. And it's going to be a trade of flashes. Kaiser actually doesn't. He doesn't have flash. I just forgot. He just flashed on top of him. Excuse me. And Neon, this is a horrible start for Vitality. Neon even has to blow both of his summoners. And Trimby still has his. This is very unfortunate. I mean, you see Kaiser, he missed the hook and he's not able to actually get anything from that. He ends up getting a bit tilted and flashes on Comp saying we have to make something here. But it was over-aggressive. Meanwhile, at the same time, Bo was looking for an early invade on Malorang, but as he doesn't know where he started, this is a disaster. Bo is going to die here as well. And you have to think that this is a little bit of tilt for Vitality. But Malorang does miss his W, but Bo has to die here, and Neon is probably going to die too. Unless he's able to just get out in range. He does have the minions to block the W from Ashe, but yeah, really disaster. And this is kind of how I predicted the draft would happen. Like I said, Vitality has to overforce things, but I do think this was a huge blunder by Vitality's bot lane, thinking that they could just go in and then win level 1, which I'm sure they could, but Kaiser misses the hook, is not satisfied with that. As they're going to get poked out, he has to go back in, because imagine if Kaiser just misses the hook and starts walking away, he's gonna get poked the entire way, and they're gonna start the lane with like 30% HP. So he has to flash forward and look for something. Unfortunately, it does not pay off, and we're gonna see here in the replay where Kaiser is looking for Comp out of position. Comp starts E, and they're not expecting that. And after this, Kaiser just decides we have to go in. They're double range. They're gonna poke us out and chase us down. So we have to go in. Otherwise, the lane is just over. And Neon, he started W, which is great, and he does have the... What is that rune called? You do know, the fast attacking rune. What the fuck is it called, dude? It's called... Anyways, the fast rune, he has it, okay? So they thought that he could win early, but... Comp with a great E-start, and you can also see here the second E-start, not gonna be able to kill him, and Bo just decides, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna look for something. Now we have to give a lot of credit to Koi's early wards to make sure, knowing that Bo is going to look for something early, so they do end up warding the river, and lo and behold, they do see Bo on the ward, and Bo is not going to be able to get anything. Now we see a little bit of a contester in the river, but you have to assume that Vitality is losing this. Kaiser is without flash, and a big misstep. Vitality are looking extremely desperate at this point. They are 0-1, and with this draft, they're looking to completely blow open the game, but the only thing that's being blown open is about to be their Nexus. So we'll see if they can slow down the pace. Perks is a pretty bad wave here in the mid lane, and he's going to end up trying to step up, but realistically, if Malloring is around, it's going to be hard to actually crash this wave. But Malloring is not responding, and Bo does a great job looking to cover Perks and trying to get this wave in. It is frozen under Larsen's tower. I think Perks is just going to have to base and try the TP. Now he does have the Doran's shield and the second wind. Hopefully he wants to get 1100 and get the Berserker Greaves on his first base. That's going to be a huge power spike for him, and it's going to help him a lot in this lane to be able to find this aggression. But we can see on the minimap that Malloring is looking to cover Larsen here, and if Perks is stepping up, they are going to kill him. At the same time, Bo is looking for something here bot side, but nothing has really happened, and it's starting to wreak a little bit of desperation for Vitality, and Perks does still have the flash. We're going to see he's probably dead here. Okay, Malloring does not want to dive him, and he does end up doing a really great flash there, getting away and escaping with his life. Now Bo is level 3, 2 level 4 Malloring here. Malloring has 2 kills already, and you can assume when he goes back to base, he is going to deal a lot of damage and take over this game. And we'll see if Bo can hit the... Oh shit, man! It was so close. Larsen survives with... How much HP is that? Bro, it was like 5 HP. 5 HP, dude. That's actually crazy. Bro, he survived with 5 HP. Like, Larsen doesn't even flash it. He's like, yeah, bro, let's walk out and I won't die. Now we see Bo looking for something else. And what else can you do as Nidalee? Like, you're not really that much of a scaling champion, and you have to get early kills and look for opportunities. So I don't blame Bo for constantly looking for things. And it's quite sad that he didn't get the kill on mid lane there. But... what is Vitality's game plan at this point? He is going to end up losing possibly his Raptors if Malloring decides to go there. But Malloring has always been a jungler that prioritizes helping his laners and making sure that they are getting ahead. So he is just going to sit around mid, knowing that Perks has used Flash. And Perks is not getting out of this one. They're just going to wait out his E. We'll see if he actually can get out. Malloring's Q is going to expire at the time he comes back. But Larsen hits level 6! That is so unlucky! That is so unlucky. I think Perks would have actually survived that one. Photon, however, is around the area. Malloring's flash has just came up. He's probably going to have to flash this, but Photon is going to follow. Woo! He has flashed out. That was like some zigzag. Oh my god, that is so sad. I mean, great pink ward by Malloring to find the blue buff, and he has to jump over and then saving his flash. I mean, most players probably would have just flashed over the wall instantly when you see an Olaf raging at you and just running at you, trying to kill you. But really intelligently played by Malloring. I like it. Beautiful. Now, Photon doesn't have any summoners or ultimate, and we're going to have to assume that Zigenda is possibly going to look for something here and try to... I don't know, they could probably look for something. I mean, Malloring is around the top side, but Olaf is an extremely scary champion to kill. Now, at the same time, we can see bot lane since the early game, they're just getting pushed in, and this is probably going to continue for the rest of the game, as there aren't many options that you can look for. You have a Nidalee, and... I mean, let's be real, they have a spell shield to block the hooks, but we are going to see Percy run down here bot, and Trimby is probably going to have to blow his flash at least, if anything. Now he... Oh! Sheesh, man, that was beautiful. I mean, Trimby flashes right behind the minions to make sure that they cannot follow up with the hook, even if they flash autos, and Perks ends up missing his ultimate, to be honest. You can even see it on the player camp, Comp laughing, and they know they have this game in the bag. I mean, they're feeling pretty confident, they're already 1-0 up, and... we'll see how Vitality comes back from this. I'm gonna have to assume that they have to put a lot of random fights and try to get a lead somewhere else. The Herald has to spawn, then we see Trimby making his way down to the mid lane, making sure that Larsen can keep playing aggressive and push in this Yone. I mean, Yone does not have ulti. We have to assume that they are going to get this Herald. However, they do have Olaf on the top side. He's relatively low mana, so he's not going to be able to contest it. We'll see what Koi decides to play for. If they're looking to just match the enemy and make sure that they're not getting the Herald and look to continue playing bot side. But generally speaking, if we have Sivir versus Saya on the bot side, as we see her, Larsen jumps forward looking for an ultimate on Perks, knowing that he does not have flash. Perks uses E and he's gonna have to go back eventually, and this is gonna be another kill on Perks. He's not gonna survive this one, and you have to question the decision by Vitality. They're looking for the 3v3. I mean, honestly, it is the best thing they could do. At the same time, Neon is feeling a lot of pressure here and has to force something. I mean, the game is getting out of hand. They have to do something. Now we're going to see if Vitality can actually get this Herald right now, knowing that Koi was relatively low and they used a bit of ultimates for that kill on the Kaiser and the Perks. So, yeah, I mean, not a good game for Vitality. Kaiser sitting there on 0-3, and when you've died that many times in the early game, you are a very easy target. We are going to see if Neon can actually look for something here. Comp is sitting under his turret with no mana. He does still have the spell shield to get some mana back if he's able to block an ability. At the same time, we can see Trimby running all the way from behind there. And Neon is relatively fine. He's probably going to have to maybe blow his ultimate or heal. But he should be fine here. There shouldn't be much happening. I mean, Trimby is still going at it, being extremely annoying. But Neon is going to end up having to blow his ultimate. That is a very long cooldown on that ulti. But he's still fine. And we can see Larsen and Malrang using that mid prio that they have and how much stronger they are than Perks and Bow. And Neon is under his turret relatively low, but Comp he has gotten back some health, and now that Trimby is bot too, they're going to be able to keep pushing this bot lane and keep this priority. We'll see if they try to get the dragon with this, knowing that Vitality has the Herald. We'll see where Bo is going to put it down. You would have to assume he has to put it around bot side. I mean, putting it at top seems kind of pointless. I mean, what are you going to do? Olaf is still going to outscale the K'Sante, and he's relatively fine. You have to get some gold into the Saya, get her to her item spikes faster, so you have a chance at winning this game. I mean, at the same time, you can see they're getting pushed in on bot and getting pushed in on mid. I mean, the only... Wait, bro! Show the camera on top! Bro, Wait, what happened to K'Sante? And at the same time, Neon died, but I swear, K'Sante... he ulted and Olaf ulted. But like I said, I mean, after Neon gets chunked there, and he's left with two options. That's two options. Either you give up an entire wave and maybe a lot of plates as well, or you stay like that and you hope that they don't kill you. But at the same time, you see Trimby hitting level 6 and he's been on point with his arrows. I mean, Neon does not flash the arrow, ends up getting killed. But I don't know what to say, honestly. Like, it's a horrible early game. I mean, I wish I could be a little bit more positive. I will try to be a bit more positive. I do still think Vitality has a chance, but it's going to be very hard. They have to wait until... I'm not sure if Kaiser is definitely not level 6. But here you can see that Olaf will press the ulti at the perfect time and make sure that he does not fly over the wall here. And you can see Zugenda trying to catch him out and try to get an ulti here, making sure that he might not be aware of it. And he just ends up flying over the wall. This is what I saw on the minimap, and I'm sorry why I wasn't looking at the Zaya why he died. But I just saw like a random guy just flying over to the other side, and I was like, wait, bro, what? But then I realized that Olaf has the ulti, and we see the solo bolo on top side. And you have to assume that it's also a bit of a consequence of using both of your summoners to try to find the Xin Shao before, and he was relatively low mana, so... But I don't blame Vitality. I think this is their best strategy. They have to look for advantages in their lanes and try to flip it a little bit, try to get some sort of thing going. Like Neon going very aggressively on comp, trying to get a kill. Like, they have no win condition right now. They have a Nidalee who's relatively useless. They do still have the Herald, and Perks is going to hit the ultimate on Larsen. Larsen does not have flash. He uses his ultimate, but he is going to end up getting away. But really great look, and this is what Vitality has to continue doing. At the same time, because Kaiser went mid lane, Neon is getting chased to death on bot side, and you have to assume he has to use this flash here. How can they punish them for walking up this far? Probably not. I mean, the Nidalee is not even around, and you can see Malrang being closer than Nidalee. They're just going to end up using the Herald mid, trying to get it a little bit choked out. But Trimby, bro! You gotta stop doing them this dirty, dude. Like... How do you hit every single arrow? That's fucking crazy, man. Sorry for my language. And Perks is probably going to end up dying as well. Oh my god. Disaster. Disaster. I mean, honestly, if you are Vitality at this point, you are going to pause the game. You are going to ask for a remake. I mean, that is the nicest thing you can do. And Koei should accept it because, this is quite a brutal game. I mean, if this was a scrim, this game would not go through. You would draft this shit and you would be like, after 5 minutes, you guys, we have no win condition, let's just FF. But unfortunately, it is a competitive game and you cannot FF anymore. I don't know why. I've seen some horrible games where they're like 0-100 and you're not allowed to FF the games even then, and you just have to slowly bleed out. Now you have to assume this is just going to be a slow macro game where Koei is just going to take every single objective and choke them out. I mean, they outscale, I don't see them losing, but here you can see Trim's arrow all the way from bot side. This guy's been on point with his arrow. I mean, Bo could have flashed it, but I don't blame him. Like, what are you thinking of? You're like running and taking the ward, and then you see a fucking Ash arrow coming from Africa, then what are you supposed to do? I mean, he could have flashed it, but he didn't, and he ends up dying, and they end up killing both Perks and Bo. And it's honestly looking pretty dim, but since I'm casting this game, I need to pretend that it's still going on, and I will. So Vitality has other options, right? Now, the second option you have here when you're losing this hard is trying to overload on one side, trying to go 3-man on one side, look for a pick just for a kill, get some sort of advantage. I wouldn't be surprised to see Vitality maybe running 4 bot here and trying to kill the Kazanti, getting some sort of activity in their game, because it's looking pretty dim. And if they just keep going like this, getting pushed in on mid waves, getting pushed in on bot, getting pushed in on top, they're probably not going to win the game. So they have to do something creative and look for some sort of fight and maybe just flip it. And you're going to see a little bit of inting in the next few minutes from Vitality, but please don't be so hard on them, because that is exactly what they have to do in order to get a chance. They have to take a risk, and they have to look for random 1v1s and look for kills. Like here, Malloring is just walking confidently. He does have his ultimate, but could this be a mistake? Unfortunately not. The Nidalee is not that strong, and Olaf, however, is flashing up, and he's going to trade the kill with Xin Zhao. And he's still going to go on Comp. You have to assume Comp has to flash away, but he still flashes out, but they still follow up. And Olaf is unstoppable. This Olaf is looking like Adam. He's murdering them. What? The Vitality manages to get back a huge lead. That's huge. That's huge for Vitality. That's actually huge. At the same time, they are going to lose the bot turret, but Manoring is walking into red buff, and they're overstaying. And they end up in this choke point, and Olaf just flashes, Photon just flashes on top of them, and once the Olaf has come into your backline, it's very hard to get him out because he's unstoppable, immune, and he has the ghost extremely fast. Incredible play by Vitality, and this is definitely going to play a part in the later stages. But this is exactly what Vitality need more of. They need to look for more fights and wait for the enemy team to walk in, maybe flip this fight. They were probably not even confident that they would win this, but they are going to look for it because there's no other option. And you can see here, Perks TPing behind them. Malloring is walking in. They're not even aware that Perks is behind them. And as they walk up, Photon just flashes forward, kills the Malloring, and then Comp is stuck there, ends up flashing over the wall, but he has no idea that Perks is there. And at the same time, Larsen gets the trade kill with Neon, but at this point, with no flashes, no ultimate, they're not going to get away from this Olaf. This Olaf was just crazy strong, beautifully played by Vitality, and we have to see a little bit more of that. Now, does that change the game? Probably not that much, but they are going to at least get something. And Malloring is going to pick up the Herald. They are going to look to trade for the Dragon. And we'll see how Vitality try to continue the snowball. Now, they do know that the entire enemy team, except Zagenda, does not have summoners. Neither do they, but can they look to punish this? And they know that Trimby has no flash. Are they going to look here? But Perks is probably not going to get in range here. They're going to just jump back. They do get the Drake, at least something, an objective bounty. That is going to help them get the gold a little bit. And I have to drink a little bit of coffee to keep my hype up. Being a caster is goddamn hard, but let's look here if they can trade for the bot lane turret. It is another bounty, but we have to assume that Koei is also going to get the mid lane turret, as Neon cannot realistically defend this on his own, and they're also going to get the top lane turret. Now, overall, a pretty bad trade from Vitality, but they have to do this because it's better than zero. Always when you're behind, you want to look to trade and get some sort of income so you can get into the game. But naturally, when you're behind, you're always going to lose out on trades. You're going to trade 2 for 1, but that's still better than 0 for 0. Now, naturally, when you are ahead, you want to look for 1 to 0, 1 to 0, and keep choking out the enemy team and make sure that they don't have a way to come back into the game. Sorry about that. Now, Neon is stepping up on the mid wave. It's going to be a pretty stale game. I mean, they are waiting for the power spikes. I haven't talked about the item advantages that Koei has. And now we do see everyone sitting on one mythic item, so it is relatively even at that part, and I do think Vitality are okay in the game right now, but once we see— oh my god, bro, this is so dirty, I don't want to watch this! Like, how do you even do that? Like, how do you know he's gonna walk up Trimby, bro? Like, This is so dirty, dude. This is so dirty. I mean, he's just trying to play the game. Why you gotta do him like that? You did it last game too. Oh my god, bro. Trimby is playing beautifully on this Ashe. If I was playing against Trimby, dude, I would ban Ashe every single game. We're gonna see this champion banned every single game. Like, first pick, and what he does on this champion is amazing. Honestly, it's incredible. I've never seen an Ashe hit those arrows consistently all over the map. Like, how does he even know that Perkz is gonna walk up to that specific area? And in response, Koi is gonna be able to take this top lane turret. Oof, it's looking dirty. Perkz is really getting a reality check, and he's getting a bit traumatized from those arrows. And this is the second time Trimby has been on point with his arrows. Now, we did see in the regular season Trimby completely stomping Perkz and hitting every single arrow, and eventually it actually won them the game by hitting an arrow before an objective. So now we have to see what Koi is going to be able to do. I mean, you have to assume that they are going to play for the Nash that's spawning in 1 minute and focus the topside vision. Now that they do have the mid lane turret and the top lane turret, they're probably going to be able to push in the vision a lot deeper. Wouldn't be surprised to see Zigenda push out this bot wave and then rotate into topside and group up with his team and try to get full control around the topside for this Baron that's spawning in 1 minute. At the same time, Bo is looking for a little bit of a greedy invade here. Oh my god! Stop, man! Bro, Trimby is so nice to watch it. Like, this guy is so fucking hype. Like, Trimby, I love you, dude. Like, Trimby, you gotta, you are the MVP of this fucking game, dude. Like, fuck, I swear it again. I'm sorry. Photon has to blow his ultimate here. He is gonna get away, obviously, but it really sucks. I mean, Trimby has been the MVP of this game. Beautiful arrows, and honestly, I would ban it perma. Photon is a little bit caught off. He does not have a flash over here, but Koi is not gonna overcommit. They do not want to repeat the same mistake that they did earlier at the red buff. And it's going to be a relatively slow death. And like I said, K'Sante, after pushing bot wave, getting into topside, just grouping with his team, making sure that there's no play for Vitality. And it is a number advantage, as Perkz has to go bot. He does have the TP, but... Okay. It's fine. But yeah, they're just going to be able to get this topside vision. And it's going to be very hard for Vitality to get it back. I mean, at this point, Vitality has no idea if they're doing Nash or not, and they have to walk in and face check. I mean, Kaiser ends up losing his life, but it is a trade kill, and they do end up getting Malrang. I mean, Olaf has no ultimate. He does end up flashing away. Perkz is behind them, though. The same TP, it's the same situation, but it does not ulti exactly when Larsen ultis, and he has to jump back. It's gonna be... Oh, he's coming over right now! This might actually be a turn. Comp has arrived to the fight. He's probably gonna look for a pentakill. Comp is just going all in. Perkz is 1 HP, and he's... Oh, he's just gonna die to Nash. K'Sante is stuck in the pit. He's just gonna die to Nash while Perkz watches him. He's dead. Vitality end up winning an unwinnable fight. At the same time, Trimby is completely outplaying Bo. He's just running around. What are those feet, man? What is that movement? God, man. They're so dirty, man. Trimby, you're so dirty, man. Like, how do you play like this? But really close game. I mean, they're still gonna look for something. Perkz is around the area, but he does not know it's actually not warded. No, he does not know it's warded. It was warded. My bad. I did not see it was a blue ward and not a red. So he's just going to end up walking back. I mean, a lot of summoners blown there, and you have to question Koi's decision. I mean, this is the second time they die on that red buff, and Kaiser, however, he's 0-5, but I gotta say, props to him for looking for engages, trying to do something. I mean, we saw a similar game with Bo being like 0-11, did a video on that before, but sometimes when you are this behind, you have to just look for multiple opportunities, and you can't really blame them. I mean, you can blame them for falling behind, but here we're gonna get a replay on this fight. You can see that Koi just wants to reset. Kaiser just walks in and ends up throwing the ulti, and Neon finds the ultimate as well and tries to hit as many people as possible, but Koi intelligently backs off, and they don't really want to follow up. But here again, they have no idea that Perkz is all the way behind them, but Perkz ends up getting ulted by Larsen and gets out, and here you can see Perkz getting over again, and both Bo jumping forward, and here Vitality just go all in, but they have no idea that Comp has actually arrived to the fight, and Zigenda flashes over, hoping to catch Perkz at least, but ends up tanking the Nash, and he just dies to the Nash with a very slow death. And here you can see Trimby like, bro, this guy's he's just walking left and right, and there's nothing Bo can do. And honestly, he's just making fun of them. And at the same time, Comp finds the kill on, who was it? Neon, yeah. He finds the kill on Neon, and in the end, excuse my play-by-play casting, it is extremely hard to follow up with all the things. I have so many things in my mind. But you have to assume that Koi's next plan is just going to be to continue this trend of just pushing in mid, getting full topside vision, and play for this Nash. A beautiful spear by Bo, and Comp not reacting and putting the spell shield. But Bo has always been very good with his spears, but unfortunately this game he does look quite useless, if I'm being honest with you. No offense to him, but that's just the reality of this game. And the Photon somehow is an enemy jungle picking up their blue. quite an interesting choice with their losing mid tower, but we'll see if he can find Malrang here. Malrang does have the flash though, so it's probably not going to happen here. Photon, they do not know that Photon is here, but they are going to find out right now, and they're like, bro, what the hell is an Olaf doing here? And we're going to see another Trimby arrow coming from downtown, obviously hitting. I mean, does this guy ever miss? I don't think so, bro. But he's going to be safe. I mean, Olaf is a pretty tanky champion, and Malrang can't really jump in alone there. He's completely alone, and Comp is on the mid wave. They are TPing back mid. They want to end up getting control on this Nash. They don't have an idea. They do have a little bit of vision on this Nash, and you have to assume that Bo and Photon are out of position here. They might end up getting completely murdered. Ziganda does ulti, but he ultis to Olaf, who does ulti, but Malrang jumps in, but he's a little bit too far, and this might actually not look that good. Perks find an ultimate, but it completely whiffs, and that's probably it. And Larsen with another great ulti. We've seen Larsen on this Azir is always at the backline, getting those 4-man ultis, 3-man ultis. I mean, it's beautifully played. They overstepped a little bit too far, thinking that they're safe in the river, but ending up getting collapsed by the entire Koi team from both sides. They got collapsed from top side, from river, from their own jungle. This is a very hard game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You have to assume that Koi is gonna be able to win this game, considering how ahead they are. And you can see here they're getting collapsed by Ziganda just coming from there, and then we see Comp and Azir coming from the river, and here we're gonna see Larsen with a great ultimate again. They try to find the kill on Malrang, but it's not enough. Perks ends up missing his ulti a little bit. It was super close, and yeah, they just end up getting aced here. Trimby with another arrow misses Perks for the first time. I've never seen that before. And yeah, it's not looking good, if I'm being real with you. And another arrow here is trying to traumatize Perks, but Perks manages to miss it. And we're gonna see a pause here, obviously, because every player wants to just remake this game, but it's not gonna happen because it is a competitive game. So sorry, guys. We'll see if we can find a bug. That is the only winning chance for Vitality here. If they could possibly find a bug, you have to look at the small things. Maybe the ulti didn't really come through. Like, Perks should have hit his ulti on all 4 members, but he didn't, so maybe they could remake, you know? I'm sure the Perks is writing right now in the all chat, remake, guys, can we remake? He's joking around. And it is kind of funny. I think you should take it a little bit lightheartedly when you are at this position as a pro player. There's not much you can do. You messed up the early game, you try this spicy comp, you end up falling behind already from the early game, and yeah, that's pretty much it. The shit happens, you know? So try not to be too hard on the players. They are trying their best, and they tried a very spicy approach, but unfortunately it was not enough to win this game. They were backs against the wall, trying to go for the spicy draft, but let's get back into the game here. Koi does have the Baron. They're going to leave Ziganda on the mid wave, and they're just going to play a 1-4 simple comp. Ziganda's going to make sure he pushes in the mid wave and keeps buffing it. While that's happening, the rest of the 4 members are going to secure the bot side vision. They do have a 10k gold lead, almost 9k. And yeah, Ziganda's just going to be very annoying, sit here on the mid wave, and he's just going to buff the wave, and slowly by slowly they are going to get every single turret. And they pushed Vitality all the way to their base. Neon is 2 levels behind, and yeah, it's a rough one. Kaiser is 3 levels behind. I don't think I've seen that in a while. Neon is getting completely obliterated by just 1 Q from Larsen. You can see how far behind these guys are. I mean, just look at the items. It's incredibly sad. It's kind of like the last game where Comp was up on an entire item on Neon, and it's rinse and repeat. It's kind of the same story, except the draft has been completely random this time. We'll see if Koi actually tries to finish the game here. They might feel confident that they can actually do it. This might be a little bit of a risk, but I do think they should be able to. Larsen, you can just poke them down, and at some point Vitality just has to go in, and that's probably where we're going to see right now. And who's going to engage first? Kaiser is looking for some sort of hook, but he's just getting completely poked down, and he can't really look. But here, Perks finds a really nice ulti, but he's extremely squishy, so he's going to end up losing a lot of HP, and Neon at the same time ends up getting shuffled by Azir, and you have to assume that everything is just lost here, and they are going to lose the game. There's not much else they can do. If you're Vitality, I mean, that really blows, but Koi is going to take a clean 2-0, the first 2-0 we've seen in the last Best of 3 series. It's quite sad. I would have loved to see a third game with a little bit of a different draft from Vitality, but it is what it is. You just got to give credit to Koi. Played the early game very well, put down the wards to make sure the Bo cannot find anything random. Now, it was really sad that Vitality bot lane level 1 ended up making a huge blunder, not being able to get a kill and also blowing both of their sums, and then Bo overforcing a gank, ending up dying as well. And it's just very... It's just those kind of mistakes, especially in pro plays, is way too much, and a team good as Koi can just snowball that game completely. I mean, Vitality did find some fights later on around the red buff, but those fights were completely avoidable by Koi. But they decided to walk in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just give props to Trimby. Obviously, my MVP. That guy is insane on these arrows, and like, what the hell, dude? Like, honestly, his arrows are just crazy, man. Like, wow. But you still got to give a lot of respect to Vitality. They've had a really good season so far, and the draft, even though it didn't work, I love the big dick energy. Like, they're coming in and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go Nidalee, we're gonna go Yone, and then you're like, yeah, it sounds good. It sounded good, better in our heads, but it didn't work out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this cast. I hope I was better than last time. I know that I still have a lot to improve on, but I just wanted to do this cast with a shirt on, make it a little bit more serious. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Have a good day, guys.